Okay, so yeah, thanks for joining and welcome to another webinar on DoubleCloud Managed Airflow. So basically, in today's fast-paced world, like where the time is of essence, like this need of the seamless, agile, and intelligent workflow management. So which has been more crucial than ever because of all the fastness that's happening around the business processes. I think that's where Apache Airflow steps in as a game changer. But today we're not just going to be discussing about Apache Airflow. We'll also be delving deep into more benefits and enhancements brought forth by DoubleCloud Managed Airflow, which is the layer which adds top onto it. So throughout this session, we'll unpack the potentials and capabilities of DoubleCloud Managed Airflow, and also we'll see a short demo. So stay tuned. So moving ahead, just to introduce ourselves. So myself, I'm Deepan. I'm Senior Product Manager here at DoubleCloud. So I'm manageable. I am responsible for all the products releases and also manage the roadmap for upcoming releases. Ed, yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Ed Posinitsky and I'm staff engineer at DoubleCloud. My team was responsible basically to deliver this managed Airflow solution.
Thanks, Ed. And last but not least, DoubleCloud. So DoubleCloud is a platform to manage and build end-to-end analytical solution. And we'll talk about more in the upcoming slides, but can proceed now. So in the ever-evolving landscape of technologies, there's sheer volume of data, and also there's different tools of creating processes, and with a lot of incredible opportunities. And there's also challenges. So as we are navigating through all these data-related challenges, it becomes important for us to address the hurdles that is the effective data management. And I think one of the most challenging part is the orchestrating the complex data flows. There's a bunch of tools around there in the modern data stack for data quality. For in the data lake, there's a bunch of tools, and there's a bunch of data warehouses, and there's different streaming technologies around. But there is a challenge of like coordinating between these, like orchestrating this or triggering these components between all these tools and coordinating between these tools and ensuring the seamless workflow execution often kind of becomes like a bottleneck. And there's also other problems on like data quality. And with this challenges, it comes and manages like the problem becomes more on like machine learning. How can I manage my machine learning workflows more effectively? Or how can I manage my data security workflows more effectively? Overall, the data orchestration is kind of an art of harmonizing various data sources, tools, and also processes into like a symphony by offering a solution to these challenges. I think speaking of data orchestration, I think Apache Airflow is one of the best open source platform for data orchestration. We'll get to know more about it. Why? Ed, can you explain a bit more?
Not a secret basically that Python is one of the most popular languages in data world and machine learning world. So Apache Airflow is basically the workflow engine that is built for well integrated with Python ecosystem with all the libraries for data processing and so on. It has a number of integrations out of the box with major cloud providers and different external tooling. Being part of the Apache Foundation, of course, it has a huge community, which is a huge plus for everyone just stepping into this field. You have a lot of support from community, a lot of Stack Overflow questions that you can search for problems and so on. Though it's actually also quite extensible as with all the things that you can put on top of the Airflow, and it's really scalable. So with its modular architecture, it has the workers concept that can be scaled independently of other components of the system, which makes it really efficient in terms of resource utilization and performance. Ivan, what about use cases maybe?
Yeah, so use cases is what more makes it more Airflow. Airflow is kind of like a one beautiful orchestration tool which can solve basically anything. So like business process automation or like building and generating a report. It's not just specifically on data. It can also be on like other processes as well. But most likely people are like using it for data because as I mentioned earlier, like there are a bunch of tools around lying there, but it's very difficult to orchestrate between them. One of the use cases for batch processing data, ELT or ELT workflows, to trigger some queries, to pull data from a different specific sources, call some API-based sources, and then run some queries on like a data store, data lake, or even trigger some machine learning models based on that data that has been retrieved, and ultimately also to make sure like to generate some reports like PDF or something like that. Because basically what Ed said is like the Python scripts, right? So basically you can write a script to do whatever you want. So it's endless, it's limitless. And also, it's not just about the report generation. It will also be like notification. Let's say you are generating some reports and you want to get someone notified in a Slack channel or something. So all this kind of orchestration is beautifully synchronized right from the start until the end. So that's what is. But more on the use cases. But let's talk about like why we are here, what DoubleCloud Managed Airflow is. So what makes us interesting is really because we manage this open source managed Apache Airflow for you guys. And we have like an hassle-free infrastructure management. Yeah, you basically don't need to take care of all the updates, patches, backups, everything. Everything is under the hood is taken care of you. And you can only focus more on like the DAGs and the creating a workflow and building things on top of Airflow. We also have a auto scaling for effortless performance, because you never know like when you need that extra power, extra compute, depending on your workflow. Like you wanted to fetch some queries, want to run some complex queries in some data stores. Maybe at that time you want some worker nodes to be scaled up. Yes, we do have the capabilities, and we'll shortly see a demo in the upcoming slides. And also we have packaged it with all the predefined most common libraries that is available, and with which you can actually start building your tags and tasks. And it also made it like a developer friendly. So all the Python scripts that you have within your Git environment, and which we can easily integrate it with our DoubleCloud Managed Airflow, so that you all have your all sources in one single source of truth, and you don't need to clone it or just copy all the tags again in some other place and you need to build it. And what's most beautiful on top of it is like, it's not just about Airflow. So even if you're using an open source, you need to build all these complex integrations around it, like say notifications. If something went wrong, if a cluster is down or something, or if you wanted to monitor what's happening with that specific cluster, is the workers alive, or what is their task? Is there any bottlenecks? All those things. Although Airflow supports the monitoring capabilities, but those are just application or the framework oriented topic Airflow, but not related to the infrastructure. We need to build all those things. So with DoubleCloud, we offer this beautiful monitoring dashboards where you can already see what's happening with the DoubleCloud clusters, DoubleCloud Airflow clusters, and you can take actions. And we'll also notify you if there's something went wrong, or if there's maintenance plan. You can also schedule when you wanted to maintain depending on your needs. And most important for customers who are most privacy and security conscious, Airflow clusters are also more secure. And the DoubleCloud is also, we have a trust page where you can go and look at it. We are SOC 2 Type 2 and also all of the bunch of security and compliance certified. So you can trust on us. Moving ahead, so this is what we have. So currently our managed Airflow is in preview. So we are not just going to stop with all the basic features. What you see here, we have some roadmaps planned for it. Ed, can you explain and shed some light on it?
Yeah, sure. So basically in the first iteration, we were trying to focus on the most crucial parts, like you mentioned, observability, logging, monitoring, and auto scaling, which is really important for the customers, right? To not waste any resources. But there is the huge road ahead, and we have a lot of plans to implement many of those we're working on already. As what we're going to introduce soon is Kubernetes executors. So basically, at the moment, we're working with Celery executors, which is really good, scalable, but they're pretty much fat because everybody knows this kind of a library. It's fat, but it's efficient. But still, some resources could be saved. And with Kubernetes executors, our customers could leverage full power of cloud native apps running the applications as they need within the native Kubernetes environment. And what we're working on right at the moment is custom Docker images. We want to deliver this unique experience when you can set up all the environment and libraries you need to execute your complex tasks and so on. And we're also going to expand this into multiple clouds, and GCP is the next one. What is important also is downscale to 0. Currently, we do downscale to one single worker, but In the future, we are going to allow to downscale to complete zero. So you don't waste any resources if you don't have any workload running on the Airflow. And of course, bring your own cloud is the crucial part of our service. We have it for other services like Kafka and ClickHouse, and we also will have it for Airflow. So yeah, that's the major roadmap for the closest future.
And we are not just going to just stop with this roadmap as well. So we are also constantly listening to feedbacks from customer. So if any one of you in this call is having some pain points or gaps in managing a specific Airflow, please reach out to us. We wanted to work together closely with you to craft a way and make more nicer managed Airflow for everyone. So yeah, you can reach out to us anytime. So what DoubleCloud is? So DoubleCloud is not just about managed Airflow. So we also have other components as well. So as I said earlier, so we are end-to-end platform to build an analytical data analytical platform. So on the left side, you can see like the sources. On the right side, you can see the consumers part of it. So right from the sources until the visualization. So we have all the connecting blocks to make it more user-friendly and also to make it to build an analytical platform, like to collect all these sources. So we have a transfer service, so you can collect all this data from different sources. Once you have this data, you need to store it somewhere. So we have a faster data store, ClickHouse, where you can just store it. So we have a managed version of ClickHouse, and not just ClickHouse. So in case if you're looking for more streaming capabilities, or like you wanted to have some microservices that you wanted to feed upon this data, so we have managed Kafka as well. So you can also dump that data from into Kafka, or you can also go with a combination of Kafka and ClickHouse, which is quite commonly seen. So once you have all this data, so we also have a visualization layer with which you can actually build the beautiful charts. We have all the supports for embedding, and by the way, we've also recently introduced ChatGPT into visualization for beautiful insights on those charts. So Airflow is one of the component where we can orchestrate between all these blocks, and also not just within DoubleCloud. You can also feel free to use or other use cases of workflow, whatever you have. So it's just like a Lego piece. It's not just like you need to pick anyone or you need to use all the services. It's up to you. Like let's say you want to just use managed Airflow, you still can. That's the beauty of our platform. And if you want to use all, that's also beautiful because all these blocks are well integrated or very tightly integrated. So you need not to do some extra configuration efforts or extra like you need to write some scripts or something to make each of them talk. So that's the beauty of it. Okay, I think moving ahead. So this is the most interesting part. Let's jump into the demo. Okay, so this is our console, DoubleCloud. So we have these blocks, what we mentioned, like clusters transferred to fetch data from different data sources, and just like a data integration tool and visualizations and other administration settings. So we'll talk more about Airflow here. So in order to create a cluster, so we have currently three options of clusters. So ClickHouse is one of the fastest data store available. Kafka is for the streaming capabilities, and Airflow. So once you select Airflow, so you can select the cloud providers. So at this point, we support AWS, GCP, and Azure are coming soon. And by the way, it's still in preview, so we are still working on the price part. So it's free for at this moment, and you can feel free to use it. And there are different regions we support, like APAC, Europe, America, and also South American region. And coming back to the environment, so we have pre-packaged all this complexity for you guys so that it's made easy for you. Like all the schedulers and web server are packaged into this different groups, dev, test, and production. So we make sure like if you want a production grade Airflow clusters, you can definitely use this, or if you're just going for test and basic development purpose, so you can still use this. And the most important component of Airflow is definitely worker nodes. So that's where we wanted to give you a choice of depending on your workload or workflows or whatever you want to do. So we have small, medium, large. So depending on these configurations, you can pick. And this is where auto scaling comes in. So you can set like minimum worker nodes, like you want one worker nodes, or like you want to have, depending on the workload, you want 4, or maximum you can scale up to, let's say, 7 or 8. So this is where the auto scaling comes in. And concurrency is like number of parallel tasks that you wanted to execute in that specific tags. And the basic settings, just a name and version of Airflow. And this is where you give the Git configurations to pull all the Python scripts or the DAGs from that specific repo. You can also pre-fill with some examples if you just wanted to quickly test it out. And other than that, here's a maintenance window. You can also schedule it if you're not okay with our own maintenance window. You can schedule when you want to run this maintenance, and also the network settings, like who has to access this specific cluster. So basically, we run it within AWS, and you can also set some allow list IPs so that you can give some access to some other third-party IPs or some other, let's say, VPCs that you want to talk to. So all these permissions can be given here. So we have set up a cluster already for you. So this is a creation form where you can just create a cluster with just few clicks. So as you can see, there's nothing major or complex to do, just few clicks, and all this configurations are pre-selected for you guys. I'll show you a running cluster. So here is an Airflow cluster which is running. So here you have a web server connection. So you can actually open this web server and have a look at all the DAGs that is running. So here we have a specific tags complex task which is running, and you can really see it's like very complex. So all these tasks and stuff like this. This is just an example to show this. I think anyone who knows Airflow kind of get used to this kind of UI. So basically, you can see all the tasks running. Let me open some tasks. And also you can look into logs for that specific ones. So these are all like the monitoring or logging just specific to Airflow. And coming back to DoubleCloud, we also have some other monitoring capabilities. If you check this monitoring tab, so let's say we're running for last 1 hour. So you can see like we have a like scaled up worker nodes configuration. So this is more on the infrastructure level. So it makes it more beautiful for you guys to just visualize all this metrics that's happening. So here's an example, like there was only one worker node which was like running, and then immediately there was like 4, depending on the DAGs that we were running just specifically for this demo. And also you have like max workers, mean workers, and also like how many succeeded tasks what we have, or failed task, or how many tasks was running at a specific time period, and how much time did each task took to execute. So all these charts are by default built for you guys, so you need not build anything on top of it. Also, we have the infra level settings for you, like CPU utilization, memory. Like I've seen, like when there's heavy processing, the memory utilization just goes up, and also the network latency. Here you can see also memory. And it's also grouped based on worker, web server, and scheduler. So makes it more easy, whichever component that you wanted to monitor. We also have a logs component. So we aggregate all the log for you guys. So it may not just go individually one by one. And also you can filter it out based on errors or any other information. Like whatever you want is all here. And allow list is like the IP addresses which you wanted to give access to someone for this specific cluster. And here's the maintenance window. And we give the credentials here, and all you can see the resources that is spin up for the specific cluster, like how many workers. There were like maximum 5 workers, and scheduler and web server configurations are pre-packaged for you. So you guys don't need to configure these things. And if you want to still go ahead and upscale, and you can just go edit and then change, like, okay, maybe for my workload, I just need 4 and 8 combination. You can just feel free, and then you can update it. So yeah, this is just a quick demo on how you can create, and it's very basic, simple UI, so nothing much complex here. Okay. Going back to the slides. So yeah, as I said, this is currently in a preview version, so feel free to sign up, and we can give you access to it, and you guys can have a hands-on or play around with it. And if you have any specific use case within your organization that's like for Airflow, please reach out to us, and we can just discuss all your gaps and specific needs. Or if you request any specific features, or if you see like, hey, maybe this is something that's not missing, please reach out to us. Okay, time for some questions. Let's see if there's any question. Yeah, I see there's a question. You guys offer managed Airflow. How do you manage backups? Yes, I think good question because we are a managed service provider. Ed, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. Let me shed some light here. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to leverage the managed services of the cloud that we're running the Airflow on. So meaning that when you run the Airflow with us on AWS, we utilize RDS instances to have the metadata base for the Airflow. AWS has brilliant, unique capabilities for backing up. So what we do, basically configuring the appropriate backup strategy. This is point-in-time restoration, and we also keep 14 days of backups retention. And that's it. So basically, if something happens, we are able to restore you to the point in time within 14 days. Hope that answers the question.
Thanks, Ed. I see another question mentioned about auto scale. How does it work? Cool. Interesting, because yeah, we're just showing it in UI, but like someone wants to know how it works in the backend. Do you have
Yeah,
it?
yeah. I can cover this as well. So the Airflow is running on the underlying runtime, which is the Kubernetes based, and we utilize some Kubernetes extensions that leverage the auto scaling capabilities. The Airflow actually provides this certain metrics that shows you how many tasks were scheduled, how many of them executing at the moment, how many of them are queued. So basically, the auto scaling ratio is how many workers do you have, how many concurrent tasks they can handle, and how many tasks were queued or waiting for execution. So based on these numbers, we can calculate how many nodes should we add to the cluster so new workers would spin up and pick up the tasks. That's basically how it works. Yeah.
Thanks again. Let me see if we have any other questions. Okay, so yeah, once again, thank you all for joining, and you can get in touch with us through this QR code, or you can also reach out to our website, double.cloud, and reach out if you have any specific use case on Airflow or in general specific about data analytical infrastructure that you wanted to investigate or explore. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in another webinar.
Thank you,
Thanks, Ed.
guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.